Hi, and welcome back to the show. I'm Kirsten Kloss. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about speech privacy. And I've asked Peter Bagwell to join us on the program. Thanks very much for joining us today, Peter.
Thanks for inviting me along, Kirsten.
Well, first of all, the topic of privacy, it's a big issue. Modern construction in offices has improved considerably lately. And for example, like air conditions, the fans, they run much quieter nowadays. And this poses a new problem with regards to business privacy as voices carry from office to office. Well, Peter is the VP of Sales at PCC Group, and they specialize in the design and implementation of modular plug-and-play technologies into commercial offices and data centers. Well, Peter, obviously you have a lot of experience when it comes to the whole idea of modular office spaces. Maybe you can shed some light on this problem and what technological advances are available to overcome these issues.
Yeah, sure. I don't think that this is necessarily a function of modularity in particular, but as you have highlighted, offices are a lot quieter these days than they perhaps used to be. Couple that with the fact that we've got to move away from everybody having their own private offices and to having a mix of offices and open workstations. So with open workstations, what we don't have is as much as we perhaps used to with in terms of physical barriers. So not only is the office environment quieter in the first place, but now you don't have the physical barriers such as the walls and doors in order to prevent conversations from spilling over into areas where they shouldn't be heard. And so what we're able to do in an environment like that is introduce a system called sound masking, which really is just a way of increasing the background ambient noise level, but in a manner that is unobtrusive, and so it's non-distracting to those people that are trying to focus on their work in those areas. What it will end up achieving is that those conversations that go on in those areas are unintelligible past a certain range. And so what you're trying to do is bring in what we call the articulation index. We're trying to reduce that. The articulation index is just a fancy way of saying how far does a conversation travel and is intelligible by a person trying to listen to it.
So I guess examples of this would be like a legal office or a professional office in general. What kind of implementations are you seeing out there with regards to this technology?
Yeah, right across the board, to be quite honest. Legal offices is a good example, of course, because most of the people that are working in an environment like that are having conversations that are very confidential in their nature. But of course, I mean, that's going to apply both in medical offices and in commercial offices. A lot of the conversations are as I say, just confidential in their nature, and so they shouldn't be heard outside of the intended recipient. It's a little bit more difficult to achieve that, obviously, in an open work environment. And so in that aspect, yes, we're looking to provide an element of speech privacy, but it's really about trying to, in that instance, reduce the number of outside distractions so that people are able to focus on their work and improve productivity.
So Peter, how about the other way around? Like, let's say you're on the phone with somebody. Does the masking actually work so that the person that's listening to you on the phone can't hear what's other people talking behind you?
No. Just to be clear, we're not talking about a noise cancellation system here. What we're talking about is injecting a randomized noise into the environment, which really just raises the background volume level. So at an extreme example, what I could liken it to is if you're sat in a restaurant that is quite busy or a bar, you can be having a conversation with the person sat next to you. They can hear your conversation and understand the conversation. But those people that are sat on adjacent tables can perhaps hear the fact that you're talking, but will not be able to make out your conversation. So it's about the intelligibility. We're not talking about canceling noise here so that you can't hear noise. All we're doing is reducing the distance that a conversation is intelligible out to.
That clarifies a lot. Okay, so Peter, what's involved in an installation? Is this quite extensive, or what's required?
Well, it can be, and there are certainly systems out there that are a bit more complicated. But as with all the other systems that we put out into the market, the sound masking is a very simple, intuitive system. It's a plug and play technology. I should say that it really is. It's a system that's very much an asset to your business. So if your business is located in one building and you move to another, you can certainly take this technology with you, and it's not very problematic to do that. The other thing is it's digital, so it's a very small controller, and so you set those levels, and you never have to go back and revisit them. Now, the way that the system is implemented, basically you have a matrix of speakers that go up into the ceiling void. They're connected with just very simple data cable. And it is just on an in and out basis. And so if you needed to rezone those speakers in order to change how the system is configured, very, very simple to be able to do that.
So basically, the system doesn't necessarily stay with the building. It can be moved around if you happen to move. I mean, you specialize in modular office systems, so I assume it can travel with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you're right. That's part of the reason why we carry the systems that we do. Is about bringing best of breed solutions, and is about bringing simplicity to our clients, and about providing them with assets to their business rather than a sunk cost. You know, with some of the traditional building methods that are out there, a lot of the time with the systems that are provided, it's a sunk cost in that it's installed once. Any changes to it cost money, and if you want to take it with you, often that's not an option. With this particular system, it's definitely an option. It's a plug and play system. It's made up of modular components, and is very, very easy to move from one building to another.
Well, Peter, great having you on the show. Very interesting technology. It sounds like it's really fitting a need and solving a problem. Pete, thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
We were speaking with Peter Bagwell. He is the VP of Sales with PCC Group. Go check out their website at pccgroup.ca. I'm Kirsten Kloss. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned again real soon. Bye for now.